Welcome back. This is Toni Wade, the Compassionate Investor, and we're talking about working on your business and not in it. Now, in this first area, I'm just going to tell you, I have been in business for 13 years, and I'm still trying to master this one because it's probably the one thing that you will probably spend most of your time just digging your feet into all the time. And what I'm talking about is financials, like understanding specifically your financials. So if you remember when we were talking about how you build a business, you want to make sure that you have a platform that you use like QuickBooks to be able to set it up. Well, this is that stuff after it's set up that comes out after your income's going in and your incomes and your expenses are going out. That is that stuff that you need to fully understand. And I'll just say there's probably like 3 or 4 different financial statements that you should really get good with. The first one being that profit and loss. Now, I'm going to be honest, because like I told you, I've been doing this for 13 years. And I know, money was coming in and money was going out, but good God Almighty, like finding the right person to work with you to make sure that you navigate through all that, like that has been a headache. So I just want to encourage you, make sure you find an amazing accountant to work with, or someone who can at least advise you properly every quarter, and then you do your own books. If you're that new, you could be easily able to document what's coming in and what's going out, but having somebody who can walk through your financials with you on a quarterly basis so you can fully understand what's going in and coming out and how do you move this way to move that way, like that is a skill. And I've been in business a long time, and I can say still, I think I'm better today than I was. Obviously, I am better today than I was before, but it's still a work in progress. I still am working on making sure I can learn and understand my financials fully. Profit and loss is the easiest one out of all of them that I like because it shows me what's coming in and what's going out and making sure everything's lined up. But being able to look at it and say, this is, these seem a little high. What can I do here to mitigate that and bring it down? Like it's being that strategic. Or, well, wow, I made this much money this year. If I do this to my business, that'll make it shift this way. Then I can mitigate some of my tax liability. Like that's the stuff that I say I'm not an expert in, is understanding all those moves. Because I can just tell you, one time I had to pay like a lot of money. I won't tell you how much in taxes, but I said never again. Never again will I pay that much in taxes. I will make sure I work with somebody who can work with me every quarter to walk me down my profits and losses so that we can shift that in a way that it makes sense. Now, I want to make sure you all are hearing me clearly say I'm not talking about avoiding taxes because that'll get you in jail. All right. You cannot avoid to pay your taxes, but there are things that you should be able to do in your business to mitigate your liability. And once you do those things, that is going to be the best thing for you. And for those of you who are thinking about getting into real estate, that's one of the best ways. There's so many things out there related to your finances that you need to know how to utilize to be able to mitigate that liability. So I encourage you, find you an amazing accountant who can walk you through on how to do that properly. And I encourage you to meet with them quarterly. And we're talking about so this year we're in 2022. We just finished one quarter, getting ready to go into a second one. You should have met twice so far with it, or getting ready to meet a second time with an accountant if you're serious about getting yourself in position with your financials. Because you need to not only understand your profit and loss, you need to understand your cash flow. You need to understand your balance sheet. These are things that are critical to your business. And you should know to the penny how much money you have in net going in and going out on a monthly basis. So once you get into a rhythm of doing that, then you are getting yourself in the position of growth. That's what we're talking about, getting yourself to a point where you are growing your business, not just working in it. And the financial structure is the most critical part of that, because without knowing where you are, you don't really know where you're going. So you have to know where you are, and your financials is the core part of that. So I want to encourage, out of everything that you hear me talk about today, you need to understand your accounting and your financials and make sure that you can position yourself forward to mitigate any tax liabilities and position yourself for the wealth that you want to grow into. Now, as you continue to work on the financials, we're going to get ready to start talking about something that is almost like the lifeline of what you do, and that is marketing. Because without having marketing, how will anybody even come to find you? So we'll be talking about that in just a few moments, and we'll be back to you after these messages.